Imagine the scene. A woman realizes the dream of a lifetime. After years of sacrifice, finally the keys of your own home are in your hands. Emotion overflows by crossing the door for the first time. But what awaits it on the other side is not the welcoming silence of the new beginning, but the echo of the voice that has dictated its steps for decades. Ah, you arrived? Great. Help your brother carry the furniture. Your things are already in the hall. The apartment that should be your refuge now seals with the stirring of a plan that was not yours. Allow me to share a story that will mess with you. It is about Veronica, a woman who turned every drop of sweat into independence bricks. Widow, mother of two, she lifted a family with nurse salary, endless shifts, and a force that many do not even imagine. At 50, after storing every penny for 5 years, adding modest inheritance, the capital, and a small loan, she finally managed to buy a one-room apartment. It was not luxury, it was freedom, a space of her alone, where she could receive her children without depending on anyone, where each wall painted by hand would carry the mark of her fight. Sophia, the 25-year-old daughter, and newly formed in medicine, vibrated with her mother. Finally, you will have your corner. She herself shared a little room into a student accommodation, but she didn't lose a weekend to help, sanded, painted, packed wallpaper. The son, Arthur, 30 years old, a successful IT analyst, appeared sporadically to install an outlet or fix a leakage. The mother-in-law, Galena, always releases her ironic comments. Look, Sophia, helping her mother build the future. I hope you don't have to carry mobile later, huh? Veronica just smiled. After all, Galena, despite the barbs, had been her safe haven after her husband's death, creating her grandchildren as if they were yours. When the apartment was ready, Veronica bought the essentials: a simple sofa, a kitchen cabinet, a table. He marked the change to a Saturday and asked his children for help. Sorry, Mom, but Daisy and I'm going to see an apartment. I think we found one to buy, Arthur announced over the phone. What a wonder, son. Don't worry about me. I find a way, she replied, thrilled by the news. Sophia promised to appear, and Galena said she would go to take a look. On the morning of change, Veronica arrived early. I got every detail when Galena appeared. Ecstatic. What a beauty. My daughter. A real nest. You deserve it. Together they prepared the table to celebrate. Veronica even fired an apple pie, Arthur's favorite since childhood. Around 2 in the afternoon, the doorbell rang. It must be Sophia, he thought, running to open, but it was Arthur, with Margarita. Surprise? Mom, we came to congratulate her, he said, hugging her. Veronica's heart overflowed. Enter. I prepared pie. Margarita, radiant, let out. We have a novelty. We gave the signal in a 2-bedroom apartment. It needs renovation. But what a joy. My God. Veronica hugged them, not noticing the gaze change between the couple. It was then that the bell rang again. Sophia came in carrying a bag, but stopped seeing the scene. Galena, leaving the kitchen. Luce, you arrived. Perfect. Help your brother climb the furniture. Your things are already in the hall. Sophia froze. What things? What furniture? Veronica looked at her mother-in-law, stunned. What are you talking about, Galena? The answer came with a discharge from Arthur and Daisy. Of course, they will live here while reforming their apartment. After all, there is plenty of space for one person. The silence that followed was sharp. Veronica looked from one to another, incredulously. But I just moved. It's a room apartment. Arthur, visibly embarrassed, tried to explain. Mom, I swear we didn't know anything. It was Grandma's idea. Galena didn't go down. Of course it was para help. Yesterday they complained that they had nowhere to stay during the renovation. And you here with an empty house. Empty. Veronica felt the floor disappear. I live here. Don't overdo it. Galena taped a condescending pat on her shoulder. You don't need so much space. It is your obligation to help your children, especially Arthur, who has always been by his side. Sophia, recovering from the shock, exploded. Grandma, you lost the notion? My mother saved 5 years for this. It's her house. Shut up, girl. Better help carry the new couch. I bought for them. Your old man is already at the counter. Veronica felt the world turn. All for what he had fought as sinning. His peace. A symbol of victory crumbling in seconds. Arthur, pale, stammered. Mom, sorry, I thought Grandma had spoken to you. But you didn't disagree, Veronica replied, the trembling voice. Sophia closed the door tightly. No one will touch anything. This house is yours, Mother. You owe nothing to anyone. Daisy, embarrassed, agreed. It's true. Veronica, we're not going. Galena snorted. In credit, a mother deny help her son. But this time, no one gave in. Because some achievements are not divided. Some dreams are just yours, and no one, not even with the best intentions, has the right to turn off a light you took a life to light. Let's go. Let's find another solution. But Galina Nikolaevna didn't think about backwards. What an ingratitude! I created a selfish who doesn't want to help his own child. Help doesn't mean giving everything I have, Veronica murmured, a firm voice despite the tremor in my hands. I sacrificed my whole life for my children. I don't even deserve a corner just for me. What drama is this? Dumbled the mother-in-law with a gesture of contempt. It's going to be a little tight. Why? It's not like living with you forever. How long, then? Asked Veronica. Her son's fixed eyes. Artem and Margarita exchanged a guilty look. Well, 3 months until the repair's ready, he stammered, without conviction. 3 months, he repeated Veronica, as if the words weighed tons. And where am I going to sleep all this time? In an arm at arm, of course, shrugged Galina Nikolaevna, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Young people need comfort to sleep. Something within Veronica broke out. A lifetime putting children first, abdicating self-love, career, small pleasures, all for them. And now, when she had finally conquered her modest dream, they wanted to get him out of her again. No, the silence that followed was so dense that you could cut with a knife. What? No, the mother-in-law seemed not to believe what she heard. No, I'm not going to sleep in an armory bed in my own house. No, I won't give my couch. And no, I won't give up my space for an indefinite time. Galina Nikolaevna rested, offended. Are you refusing help to your own son? They are refusing, says Veronica, lifting her chin. I offer them visits, dinners on Sundays, calls when they need support. But life, they will live in Dallas. But the repair. Mother, you're right. Artem first looked at her mother with a mixture of shame and admiration. We in the Daisy, we find a way. We can stay with friends or rent something temporary. Exactly, Daisy nodded, blush. Sorry for the circus. We didn't know the plans of Galina Nikolaevna. The mother-in-law drove her hands to her head, scandalized. Did everyone conspire against me? I helped them all my life, said Veronica, serena, and I will continue to help, but not at the expense of my peace and my happiness. You will still regret, said Galina Nikolaevna, the eyes sparkling with anger. When you get older and be alone, you will remember my words. Mother will not be alone, Sophia interrupted, the firm voice of steel. I will always be here. And Artem too, isn't it? He nodded, embarrassed. Sure, Mom's sorry for this nightmare. We just wanted to celebrate her new home, not arm a fight. Veronica took a deep breath. Then, with a smile that lit up the environment, said, do you know one thing? Let's celebrate this new home. I bet a cake. I prepared lunch. They feel at the table. Galina Nikolaevna Fundy scorned. I won't participate in this scam. And he knocked on the door, swearing to take away the furniture he had forcibly bought. Those who stayed Veronica, Sophia, Artem, and Daisy looked at each other and suddenly laughed. They laughed until the tears came, relieved, as if a huge weight had been taken from their shoulders. Wow, what a scene! Shook his head. Sorry, Mom, the grandma sometimes overdo it. Don't worry, he smiled Veronica, his eyes shining. The important thing is that we solve. Now they feel, I really want to celebrate with you. And for the first time in years, she felt a genuine happiness. That was your home, your refuge, a place where you could receive anyone who wanted to, at your rhythm. An hour later, when the tea with cake ended, the bell rang. At the door, a middle-aged man with a huge bouquet. Good afternoon. I'm Sergey, your neighbor underneath, he introduced, smiling. I came to congratulate you on the new home. How kind. I'm Veronica. Accepted the flowers, corresponding to the smile. Enter. Take a tea with us. Sergey entered, looking around with interest. How cozy you left everything. Thank you. I struggled, he said, a little flushed. Oh, and I have a question, he continued. Don't you know who these things are in the hallway? A couch and boxes are blocking the passage. Artem and Sophia exchanged a look. It's the spoils of the grandmother, mocked Sophia. Let's take it all from there. I help, offered Sergey. But first, with the tea invitation still standing, and so the new home of Veronica was celebrated to 4 sheep for newcomers, and the newcomer, while the borrowed sofa and the Nikolaevna Galina boxes are gone in the elevator, taken by the furious owner. 3 months later, Artem and Margarita finished the renovation and made their own party again. Galina Nikolaevna, already resigned to Nora's selfishness, even presented the couple with a dinner game. 6 months later, Veronica married Sergey. He found that he was also a doctor-surgeon at the next hospital. They decided not to live together, but to share weekends and special dates, preserving their spaces. At the ceremony, Galina Nikolaevna whispered to Veronica, see, it was good that you defended your territory. Veronica just smiled. Finally, he had learned the most important lesson, defending his borders without guilt. And this lesson turned everything. Sophia, watching her mother, began to spare to her own apartment. Having your singing is freedom, he repeated to friends. Sometimes we need to know how to say no even to those we love most. 5 years later, Veronica and Sergey had a son. They sold the 2 apartments and bought one of 3 bedrooms nearby. Artem and Daisy also became parents from a girl, and Sophia finally realized her dream. A little but cozy studio of her only dot on Veronica's 55th birthday. The whole family gathered at the table at her new home. Looking at children, grandchildren, and husband, she thought of how that was not the most important yes of her life, because only those who are truly happy can make others happy. And she, finally, was